in a dusty, forgotten corner of an old attic. Filled with the ghosts of yesterday's treasures, a young boy named Leo made a discovery that would change his life forever. He stumbled upon a heavy, leather-bound book, its cover worn and ancient. There was no grand title, no author's name, just two simple words embossed in faded gold: the living story. Curiosity, that most powerful of human traits, took hold. Leo brushed away a layer of dust, opened the book to its first page, and in a soft, hushed voice, began to read aloud. The moment the words left his lips, something extraordinary happened. The black ink on the page didn't stay put. It began to swirl and dance, lifting from the aged parchment like a puff of smoke. The ink coalesced in the air, forming a solid, shimmering figure that landed with a soft thud on the wooden floorboards. Standing before Leo, no taller than his own hand, was a tiny, valiant knight, clad in gleaming silver armor. The miniature warrior raised his visor, looked up at the astonished boy, and introduced himself with a formal bow. "I am Sir Reginald, Knight of the Written Realm," he announced, his voice small but filled with courage. Leo could only stare, speechless. Sir Reginald went on to explain his desperate plight. His world, the entire world contained within the pages of the living story, was in grave danger. It was fading, its colors turning to gray, its landscapes dissolving into a formless, empty void. Why? Because its stories were being forgotten. For a world made of tales and imagination, being forgotten was a death sentence. The magic was draining away, and soon there would be nothing left but blank pages. A sense of urgency and compassion welled up inside Leo. He knew he had to help. Before he could even fully form the thought, a strange sensation washed over him. He felt a pulling, a shrinking, as the world around him grew impossibly large. The attic floorboards became a vast plain, and the book, a colossal gateway. He was being drawn into the enchanted world of the paper itself. When the sensation stopped, he found himself standing beside Sir Reginald, both of them now the same size, in a land unlike any he had ever imagined. Their journey had begun. Together, the boy and the tiny knight set off on an epic quest. They ventured through vast, sprawling forests where the trees were not made of wood, but of giant, towering letters of the alphabet. They had to climb over immense capital T's and navigate through thickets of lowercase s's. They sailed across treacherous seas, not of water, but of swirling, inky sentences that ebbed and flowed with the rhythm of forgotten prose. The waves were paragraphs, and the currents were the flow of the narrative. Sir Reginald explained that their only hope was to reach the very center of the book, a place known as the heart of the story. It was the magical core from which all the tales in the book originated. If they could reach it, they could reignite its power by creating a new story, a tale so powerful it would breathe life back into the fading realm. Along the way, they faced challenges born from the book's decay. Sentences would crumble beneath their feet, turning into dangerous chasms of gibberish. Characters from half-forgotten tales, now twisted and melancholic, would block their path, lost without their narratives. Through every challenge, Leo and Sir Reginald relied on each other. Leo's imagination and quick thinking complemented Sir Reginald's bravery and knowledge of his world. They learned that the word courage wasn't just a collection of letters. It was a real force that could push back the encroaching void. They discovered that friendship was a bond that could build bridges over the deepest pits of forgotten text. Every step of their journey was a testament to the power of stories, a living example of the very thing they were trying to save. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of adventure, they arrived at the book center. It was a vast, circular chamber, but it was eerily silent and dim. The vibrant energy that should have been there was just a faint, flickering pulse, like a dying star. This was the heart of the story. The void was closing in, its formless grayness creeping in from the edges of the chamber. There was no time to lose. Now Leo, Sir Reginald urged, "You must tell a new story from your heart." Taking a deep breath, Leo stood in the center of the fading world and began to speak. He didn't read from a script. He wove a tale from his own experience, from the incredible journey he had just undertaken. He spoke of courage, of loyalty, and of a profound and unlikely friendship. He told the story of a curious boy who discovered a magical book, and a tiny brave knight who refused to let his world die. He described their adventures in the forest of letters and their voyage across the sea of sentences. With every word Leo spoke, a miracle unfolded. A soft glow began to emanate from the heart of the story. The pulse grew stronger, brighter. Color began to seep back into the world, pushing back the gray void. The fading landscapes bloomed with new, vibrant life. The crumbling letters reformed into strong, solid structures. The swirling seas of sentences regained their clarity and flow. Leo's story, a story of his own making, was refueling the magic of the entire book. He had not just read a story, he had lived one. He had become a part of its fabric, its hero. As the world around him solidified, more beautiful and alive than ever before, Leo felt a gentle pull, returning him to his own world. He found himself back in the attic, the book resting in his lap. Sir Reginald was gone. But when Leo looked at the first page, he saw a new illustration. There, beside a grand castle, stood a tiny knight and a young boy, side by side, immortalized in the ink. Leo smiled. He would forever be the boy who found and saved a living story, proving that the greatest tales are the ones we help create. Thank you so much for joining me on this magical journey today. If you love stories about adventure and the power of imagination, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more tales from the creative beyond. See you next time.